Welcome. So, just putting together another update on Bitcoin. So, this is a continuation from the last YouTube video, and ultimately, our positioning is that we want to confirm that this move here, that this whole move here, and this low here was actually the low, and this move is our early sign of reversal. All right. And at the moment, we are still on a buy program because, as I've said in the last video, we raided substantial, well, considerable sell side liquidity. Okay, from this big capitulation wick, we then raided the candle range low. We had the up close candle bodies just here, and we're still closing above this candle range low. So as long as we close above this candle range low, we just continue to consolidate between this down close candle, right? And ultimately, this is still our target as our major drawn liquidity, right? We are actually finding rejection at the moment from the equilibrium from this down close candle, which does indicate that order flow could be trending back to the candle range low. But I'm actually going to show you why right now. I'm still a bit cautiously bullish Bitcoin, because we got the raid on this weekly high here, right? We got the raid on this weekly high over here, and you can see, right? So we got the raid on this weekly high, yeah, and you can see we got the down close candle, right? And the body closing below this weekly high. So that at that moment in time, to me, indicated, right, there's a potential that we're actually going to come and retest this candle range low, come seek this candle range low, and possibly completely mitigate this buy program. But actually, what we've got at the moment, and obviously there's a lot of volatility this week, there's a lot of red folder days, we've actually got a raid on this previous week low, right, which is this weekly low here. We've got the raid. We're now trading around 85,000 Bitcoin. So we're now trading right pretty much at the equilibrium of this down close candle. And if we get the close here, or at least above previous week low, then that would indicate to me from a weekly time frame, from a structure point of view, that we are actually going to see continuation higher, and that the probabilities favour that. So it would then become that the previous week high is our drawn liquidity, which it is at the moment because we've taken previous week low. So previous week high is our drawn liquidity at this moment of time. We do want the close above previous week low because that's good for the market to continue consolidating, right? Which it is at the moment. This structure is still pretty corrective. We are just consolidating, and obviously, typically consolidation leads to further expansion, so continuation of the trend. But ultimately, we do want to take this previous week high and potentially get a close above it. If we don't get a close above this previous week high, we want to see where this weekly candle closes. If we close inside, then we're just going to continue to consolidate a little bit further until there's a decision made, right? Because at the moment, it's very indecisive. We're trading right in the equilibrium, the 50% level of this down close candle, right? So the market is indecisive, but it's a good sign from a signature point of view that we have taken previous week low. Okay, now let's theorize and pretend that we get a close above previous week high this week. Then we are 100% seeing a full trend reversal, and we're actually going to then target this candle range high from this down close candle, and then potentially new all-time highs. Okay, so at the moment that's kind of just the positioning. There is, if we look at the daily time frame and get rid of some of these drawings, okay, because it's a little bit messy, right? So you can still see from the daily time frame this is all pretty corrective. You can see there we had taken previous week low from this wick here. Not too sure what this big move down is, and ultimately at the moment we are respecting the daily balanced price range, which is here, right? So this is a bearish BPR daily balanced price range. This would indicate actually that we should see continuation of the trend lower. But if we do get back above this BPR and actually inverse this, then it makes for a strong case that bulls have got control. There is momentum, and we should then continue higher and onwards. Now, a little bit of a caveat is that we do actually have this obviously downtrending structure. It's pretty evident that we've got a downtrending structure here, and you can see we've had multiple taps. Pretty much we can actually readjust this. We've had multiple taps of this downtrending trend line. Yeah, I'm not a trend line trader, but I look at this from trend line liquidity. So if we do break out of let's say of this trend line, then we should then begin to seek the liquidity of the trend line then, and all these highs that we've seen taps, which is in reality typically trend line trading. Okay, so and we have I think there is, so there's a bit more from a daily time frame perspective from that large weekly down close candle. You can see we've got multiple taps, okay, daily candles of this downtrending structure. So it's pretty evident that we are just continuing to consolidate. We're actually consolidating underneath the equilibrium of the candle range that we're interested in particular, and that would indicate that we are trading within a discount of this candle range. However, until we get the weekly close this week, it becomes a little bit hard to actually navigate, because as you can see, we are trading within a bearish BPR here, which is practically the 50% range. You see, there we go. So it is the equilibrium of the previous week range, as you can see there, where we're actually facing rejection. So there's a lot of confluence at the moment for this being really strong resistance, the daily BPR, the equilibrium of the previous week range. So really we want a good weekly close this week, and we actually want to start reclaiming strong resistance, being this daily BPR, the equilibrium, then the equilibrium of this candle range, okay, and then begin to target previous week high, then slowly but surely this candle range high. So yeah, I guess I'll end that there. Just have to be cautious of what's actually unfolding here. At the end of the day, this is a high time frame PD array that we have already tested and partially filled. We always test breakaway gaps. It can be weeks, months, days down the line, depends on the structure. But we have actually came into to retest this, and we've had a strong bounce since. So, and we are actually trading back above it. And we may potentially get the breakout from this downtrending structure that we have got here. Okay, so I think I'll end that there.